Okay,
You back on?
I'm back. I'm gonna test the iPad. I know. Ethan uses iPads, so maybe they don't overheat as much. Although this thing is like ginormous in my face, so I might need to find a better way. The audio is low. Uh-oh. How do I fix that? Audio. Actually, audio. Okay. Okay. Don't scare me like that. Hey, the unlikable stream V3. What? Oh, the unkillable stream. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a happy medium here. So I'm trying to use my iPad now. Ethan uses his iPad a lot. So I figure... Wow, you get a lot better view, too, huh? You can really see the blues with the iPad. Huh. And then if I'm drawing here, this is a test. You guys could actually see what I'm drawing. Nice. The cognac stuff, we tried the noodles and they were like rubber bands. Yeah, I mean the texture is like really strong. It's I love it. You might not like it, but I love it. So should I go back to my old the questions from the last one, or should I just keep going here? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Look at that, and it's constantly refocusing. Look, does that look like the hand of a 12-year-old boy trying to climb a mountain? Barely seeing it. Barely seeing what? Oh, the blue? Well, it's really sharp for me. Answer the last questions from the last stream. Okay. Alright, so I'll ink and answer questions. Transformers are hard to draw. It's not that it's hard like, you know, I don't know how to do it and stuff. It's hard in the sense that it takes so much stinking time. It's really just, you know, the amount of time and labor involved, because I'm like super anal retentive about it, so I like to like French curve like the important lines, and I like to use you know, stencils for all the circles and all the gears and all the who's its and what's it, and I just like it all to look very, very mechanical, because it's mechanical, it's not organic, right? And because of that, it's hugely time consuming. And quite frankly, I mean, Devil's Due was not paying me enough to be as time consumed as I was, but I was such a perfectionist about it that yeah, it was probably a bad move financially for me to accept that book. But I was like, you know, I'm a kid from the 80s, so when they offered me Transformers versus G.I. Joe, I'm like, yeah. I even put Hedge Knight off. I was in the middle of working on Hedge Knight, but I got this opportunity to do G.I. Joe versus Transformers, so I put the Hedge Knight off significantly in order to finish, or in order to, you know, do G.I. Joe versus Transformers in my schedule. Garbage human. Do I have any Transformers prints? I don't, actually. I could probably very easily maybe get some stuff recolored. I have a couple cool covers that would make good prints, but you know what, my Transformers were my own design, because you know, the story in G.I. Joe versus Transformers was that the Transformers had been discovered by Cobra and then made to become Cobra vehicles. So like Optimus Prime was a Hiss tank. You know, I think Bumblebee was... What was Bumblebee? No, I think Bumblebee was actually still a bug. But some of the Autobots were still, you know, what they're supposed to be. But a lot of the cars were... A lot of the vehicles were other things. Megatron was still a pistol. That Megatron. He's a pistol. Wah, wah. Alright, let's see. What's Ethan Van Sciver doing currently that do you know, Mike? He's probably having dinner. Yeah, it's about dinner time where he's at. Maybe a few drinks, who knows? What's your favorite OC original character you've ever drawn? My personal favorite original character. It's a good question. I kind of just like... I'm going to probably go with Superhero G. I have a really hard time with costume designs. I don't think I'm the greatest costume, designer on Earth, by far. But I think I nailed it with Superhero G. I think he's got a real classic but modern sense about his design. So yeah, that one I'm probably the most happy with. I'm always second guessing the others, but I never second guess the design on Superhero G. Mundane details are fun. It lets you tune out a little bit. Yep, that's true. Mundane details. However, like car parts and stuff, and when you're using stencils and rulers and straight edges and French curves and that's not mundane at all. That's taxing. How do you know what to leave to the colorist and what to detail so you don't spend too much time on it? I generally leave... I'm pretty open. I do a lot of line work, right? Not a lot of solid blacks. Although, it's not that I don't think that looks good. I just don't do it much. I don't know. I just don't think that way, I guess, as much as maybe I should. But yeah, I don't know. I like to leave it open for colors and choose good colorists who know what to do with empty space. Maybe it makes it harder on the colors. I don't know. But I find a lot of times colorists aren't as well versed in form and structure, and so you'll create like a core shadow or something that is designed for a colorist to take advantage of, and they have no idea what to do with it, and they just color it like normal, and I'm like, I left that there for a fill light, and you don't know what the heck you're doing. So, obviously there's great colorists that would know, but I think I've gotten too used to editors just sticking me with whatever colorist. But no, I got good colors I can pick now, but I think I'm already in that group. Ethan was at Mitch's this morning. Yes, Ethan was at Mitch's last night too. They're having a little powwow about something that I know very little about. I just know a little bit about it, but very little. So you might know more than I do because you watch Ethan's channel. More than I do because I'm too busy streaming. I didn't know I caught the anime. Classic ABS. We will bring the Injustice fans to your dojo, Sensei. Please do. If you can find them, get them, bring them over here. I might do more vids on Injustice. Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was going to do. I need to take the time to do those, dedicated. Maybe I'll do, an issue or two worth of the inks. I should be doing it every day, but it's so much. There's only so much time in the day. And here I am trying to figure out other ways to get people to my channel, when that's probably the best way, isn't it? I had a guy pop in the other day, and he's like, why am I here? I'm like, what? He's like, I got a suggestion that I come here. I'm like, oh. Okay, cool. It might have been from Injustice. Core's melting. Ah, alright, I'm done with this one. So let's go back. Let's go back. Back to school again. Why is my YouTube taking so dang long? So you see in the trees, I like slapped these down with just a squiggle yesterday, and that's why I could do breakdowns on 3 pages in 4 hours. But then when I have to come in and actually draw the trees, it's like hitting the brakes on a semi. What the heck are they doing? Are you going to read my chats for me? Come on, read my chats for me. Who wants my wife to read my chats for me?
I'm just teasing because your thing was on.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I think they all want you to read my chats for me, honey. Come on. Eden's better. She's not even here.
Where's your cognac?
Rhoda Rhoda reads Gary's chats for him. Molto cognac. Hello, Mrs. Miller.
Hello.
Read them. Yes. Ha ha ha. Just what?
What?
I can't hear you.
We're the Millers.
We are family. All my crazy children and me.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me, Isaac, why are you always trying to get in front of the camera? My kids all want to be on camera. Why don't you just start your own YouTube channel, Isaac? Why don't you do your own YouTube channel?
You already have one.
I know, but you don't ever do anything on it.
Because I have nothing to do.
Because you have nothing to do, but suddenly you have stuff to do when I'm on?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If you had told me a year ago that people would be interested in sitting there listening to me talk to my children and inking trees, I think he's just crazy.
Daddy.
What?
You should have done this a long time ago.
I should have done it a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should have done it a long time ago. I should have started when Ethan started.
When was that?
Like 8 months ago, 10 months ago? Ethan's channel's about 10 months old? Or when he really started doing this stuff?
How many subscribers did you have?
70,000.
70.
70.
Wow.
70,000, yeah.
How? Only 9 months?
Because,
Did he get a play button?
because of Star Wars.
Did he get a play
The
button?
Star Wars fans love listening to him. A play button? What's a play button?
Yeah. For like 500,000 subscribers, you get a copper play button or bronze. And then 1 million subscribers, you get a silver play button. 5 million or 10 million. Wait, no.
Okay, he's got 70,000.
Yeah, 5 million is gold play button, 10 million is diamond.
Wow. And what do you do with the play button?
It's a trophy for getting that many subscribers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't that special? So, Mike, do you like inking your own work / coloring your own work? I do. I love inking my own work. I love less coloring my own work simply because it's so labor intensive. I mean, I take way too long for it to be worth... Well, that'd be interesting if I... No, that'd still be a waste of my time. I was gonna say if I get paid enough to do Lone Star, I could just color the book myself, but I'd still be better served hiring another colorist to do it. I used to color all my Game of Thrones covers myself because I was like, it was a labor of love. But on one particular cover, I did the math and I had been coloring it for like 20 hours, and I'm like, okay, I literally get $100 to color these covers. So I was like, I could go collect stinking plastic bottles out of trash cans and make more money than how long it takes me to do colors on. But I know colorists who can just whip out just amazing colors like super fast, because they know all these little tricks and whatnot and stuff that I haven't bothered learning or haven't developed as a skill set. So yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy watercoloring. I enjoy painting. I never really have time to do either. But there it is. There's the answer to your question in a very long about way. Maybe he wants to branch out. I can't help with the bad puns. Wah, wah. Glad to see you on YouTube so much. I love seeing your Lone Star and Bless This Mess stuff on Facebook. It's so great to watch the live progress. Thank you. Use those big name projects to honey pot them in. Yeah, I know. I gotta do that. Maybe drawing trees makes him want to bark up some. Okay, stop. Bad puns. Aloha once again. How did you meet Ethan? Long ago on an AOL far away. Ethan and I met, I believe, on the John Byrne message board. It's either called Burn Victims or Burn Robotics. And we would argue Mormonism and Christianity, which I don't want to get into right now. Not again. But we would argue that and argue that and argue that and argue that. And then I met him at a couple conventions later on. He's a cool cat. And we share a lot of the same political ideologies, although we do still tend to argue. Well, actually, we haven't argued in a long time. Maybe we need a good argument. Keep the spice alive. Yeah, so that's how I met Ethan. Do you have a daylight frequency light for drawing at night or a specialist bulb? I don't know what you're talking about. Speaking of Jim Lee, is he based? I don't know how to answer that. Does drawing trees make you... Okay, I already did that. Back to the bottom again. Back to the bottom again. Hi, is it Jill with a J or Gil with a G? It's Jill with a J. It's mellow time, I'll see myself out. Inking trees looks tedious. It's, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't really don't mind taking time on any of this stuff, or on anything. Because this is my project, man. Lone Star is my baby. So I don't think of it as tedious. I mean, you're talking to a guy who draws every chain link in chainmail armor. So you can take that with you. Just take it with you. Micah. Just take it with you. Dude, you almost knocked my coffee over. You thought I was a dreamer. I'm not the only one. Ethan got big from the Star Wars anger. Well, there's a lot of angry people. And, I was thinking about it, and a lot of like talk radio hosts, a lot of pundits on TV, on news or whatever, a lot of websites, anger is a great multiplier for fandom. So I may never get that big because I don't want to invest myself in just trying to be angry about stuff. Not that I'm saying anyone's trying to. You know, there's genuinely plenty of stuff to be angry about. I mean, but I just don't want to soak in that. You know, I'll be guilty of it once in a while. I'm sure there'll be stuff that I will get mad about, but I don't know. I try not to let it be my thing. I try. So you guys can call me out on it if I start going nuts on something. You never know what it's going to be with me. But I like the tone that we're setting here at this channel with like the Aloha Hour and just kind of cool, chill guests and telling fun stories and stuff. And you know what? If I never get to 70,000 or 100,000 or whatever, and then I have the phone. I really should just unplug that bloody thing. Hold on a second. Hello. Hello. No, it's Carla. Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can use mine. Mine's charged.
I got mine.
Okay. She'll call you right back. I'm live streaming. All right. You know, your son is watching me live stream. You should know not to call my phone. Maybe your kids need some motivation for their YouTube channels. Yeah. He makes fun of Star Wars. Well, Ethan loves Star Wars, and he just it broils him the stuff that they're doing with it. You know. So it's you know, I understand. And I understand the arguments. You know, I don't hate Star Wars. Well, I don't hate the new Star Wars stuff. I don't think it's perfect. And I do hear and understand the arguments and the problems that that you know, them and world-class BSers and whatnot are saying. And in a lot of cases I can't even argue with it, but I still try not to let it broil me, whatever the word is. It's, you know, so, not that I think they're making all the right decisions, because I don't, but whatever. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Happy little trees. Yes, these are happy little trees. And there are no mistakes. They're only happy little accidents. I guess, you know, people did just sit there and watch Bob Ross paint happy little trees. So I guess there is an audience out there for watching me scribble happy little trees. These are happy little bushes because I want to mix it up a little bit. I don't want to just do like pine trees. I want to, what are they called? Deciduous trees? Something like that. Happy little clouds. Did you know that Bob Ross didn't have curly hair? He had a perm. And then he got stuck with the perm because they started branding him on his products with a perm. And so he hated, well, I don't know if he hated it, but he disliked the fact that he had to have a perm for basically the rest of his career. Ethan's boss. Star Wars brings in hits. Yeah, it does. Maybe I can do some Star Wars drawings and it'll bring in some hits, but I I could talk about what I liked and maybe like argue what's good about Star Wars. I tried to do that on World Class BSers when they were saying, you know, oh, it doesn't even have a theme, and I'm like, what do you mean? The theme was like Luke's redemption after, you know, causing the downfall of his family and the entire Jedi Order. They're like, then they started complaining that it wasn't well written. I'm like, well, you didn't say it wasn't well. I didn't say it wasn't well written or not. You just said that there was no theme, and there was a theme. It's like, you can't be. I don't know. I think sometimes some of those guys, they let the hate flow through them, and it blinds them to, you know, some of the good stuff. Although I was, what was the guy's name I was on there with? He like does these edits of Star Wars. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. If Rod, if you're in here, what was that guy's name? The guy who's doing the edits of the Star Wars stuff. I saw some of his stuff and I'm like, wow, he really very simple changes, and he can't, you know. It's disappointing to me because I was a Rian Johnson fan because I liked Brick and I liked the Brothers Bloom, but yeah, just seeing these simple directorial and not audible, but editing choices and whatnot, and it just came together much more powerfully just with simple edits. Rod, if you're in here, post that guy's page or say what that guy's name is, so I can share it and tell people to go check it out. But yeah, wow, that was. So it did make it. Gosh, I don't want to like not enjoy it. My kids liked it, and so I enjoyed it with them. But, geez, now I'm talking about Star Wars. I didn't want to make this a Star Wars thing. I'm sure a lot of you guys just hate Star Wars and think I'm cringe, but whatever. Subs on YouTube mean nothing these days. I got nearly 20K from a while back. Starting back up again these days is like starting from new. Oh, because your subs stop coming to your page? I know, it's like, even if you have a sub, it's like they don't get the alerts. So you have to make sure they hit that bell and stuff. But I had somebody tell me that he was no longer subbed. Like, for some reason, YouTube just decided, you don't need to be subbed to Mike anymore. We'll just bump you out. So he had to, like, search me to get back to me. So I don't know what that's all about, but, you never know. Take it to a pawn shop. I don't know what you're talking about. He burned his soy pants at 50K subs and then sold the ashes on eBay. Soy pants. Alright, I don't watch Ethan nearly as much as you guys do, apparently. He's probably got like 1 or 2 play buttons. Oh, you're talking about my son's talking. The church lady. Ah, yes, local babushka. Miller Bros. Oh, that's my son. Any more stories planned for Six Gun Sam? Actually, Harold, the artist, has a whole nother story he wants to do. And if I can ever pay him to do it, then I'll work on it with him. But he wants to do the story of the samurai's daughter, like at the very end of the book. Oh, okay, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the samurai's daughter comes to America, and he wants to do that story. So yeah, there is a planned sequel, but we'll see if I can ever get the funds to do it, because that would be great. But it is going to require support. So I do want to get to a point. I don't need to get where Ethan is. I'd like to get to a point where I have 10 or 20,000 subs, and then from there I'll have a nice base of you guys, loyal Lone Star Squadron members, that I can put something up and sell a few thousand of whatever it is, and like, you know, employ people to do my projects and develop the whole shooting match out even further. That would be the dream. So we'll see. We shall see if it ever happens. I hope so. I mean, I'm growing. I've gone from like 160 subs to 1,250 in, what's it been, 3 weeks? Has it only been 3 weeks? Maybe 4 weeks. 4 weeks. In a month. So I've gotten there pretty quick. Flatting colors takes me a long time. Yeah, flatting. Ugh, so tedious. And there's people that'll flat whole pages for like $15. It's crazy. I'm like, why? How? What? Maybe I should have done a more. I didn't bother referencing this mountain. I'm just kind of doing it from shorthand. Mountain, rocks, trees. Missed the live stream. Sketch therapy. Who's the guy? Oh, you might have said it already. Did you say it already? Game of Thrones commentary with Mike. Are you a flat inker, Mike? I don't even know what that means. Sold the ashes for $300. Sketch, dude. Who's Ivan Ortega? Okay, Ivan Ortega. Yeah, everybody go check out Ivan Ortega, or write it down and go check it out after this 4-hour live stream. Just kidding. It's not gonna be 4 hours. But yeah, check him out. Check out his videos. He does, you know, his videos have probably convinced me more of Rian Johnson's failure as a director than anything anybody else has complained about. Just because seeing how easily he could transform shots that are already there just through, like I was saying, editing and music and just make it so much more powerful. Yeah, I think it makes what Rian Johnson did feel sort of pedantic. And like I said, I was a fan, so it's hard. It's hard for me to say that. I just think maybe Star Wars wasn't the right vehicle for Rian Johnson. Because if you've ever seen Brick, I mean, for what it is, it's like a high school crime drama where everybody talks like they're from some 40s Cary Grant movie, right? And it's great. It is smart. It is really well done. But maybe Star Wars just ain't the right vehicle for his skill set. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Scrolling back up. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll down. I have a pro colorist that looks at any comic. He's colored covers for Image, but I can't afford color reproduction, and no one knows who I am enough for me to do an Indiegogo. Hey, you know what? You gotta bide your time. You gotta do it. Isaac, will you come in? Please close the door.
Yeah, 34,800.
Ooh, I'm coming, getting close to $35,000. Woohoo!
You're over 100% by a lot.
Oh yeah, over 200% by a lot.
Your goal is 100.
I know. Dude, there's no rush to get your stuff on Indiegogo. All right, whatever you do, don't rush and then fail because you didn't plan and get everything done accordingly. Because then you just look like, what are people going to think? It's like, oh, you've done this other Indiegogo, and then they go check your other Indiegogo, and it's like, oh, wow, you failed miserably at that. Clearly, you're not going to... Jojo, close the door. Go ask Mommy. I'm busy. Close the door. Non-stop. I should do this like at 3 o'clock in the morning while everyone's asleep. So yeah, don't. Get your ducks in a row. Build your YouTube presence, or build, if you're not going to use a YouTube presence, then figure out a real marketing game plan. I've got a buddy, Dennis, who does $500,000 Indigo or Kickstarters all the time. He's agreed to come on and do sort of a how-to, like I did myself, but at least this guy's done a whole bunch of them. He makes millions doing Kickstarters every year, and so he said he'd be willing to come on my show and kind of give a nice little how-to presentation, so that you guys can know not to jump the gun. Do not jump the gun and embarrass yourself with a failure of a crowdfunder. Okay? Just please don't be impatient. There will always be people ready to support good projects. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to. This isn't some gold rush, right? Everyone doesn't have to try to get on Indiegogo right now, right after Cyberfrog hit $500,000. This platform is going to be here for a long time to come. I'm fairly certain. So just take a breath, get your crap together, and wait until you're ready. And for Pete's sake, study the market. Study how other people have become successful. Don't just look at a successful Kickstarter and go, oh, well, he had this tier and this tier and this tier. I'm going to do that, and then I will be successful too. Because that's not how it works. I used to think like that, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, it's just, but it's not. It's not. It's about marketing. It is about advertising. It is about finding the right people to help you push your product, to reach out to their own followers, to reach out to their mailing lists, whatever it is. It is not as simple as, as putting up a Facebook page, It's just not. So please, 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 I implore you not to jump the gun on anything like this. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And you want that impression to be, solid. Solid. I mean, it doesn't have to be a record-breaking thing. I'm going to do, a mere fraction of what Ethan's doing on his. But it's enough for me to be able to proceed with this endeavor and to move on to the next book. Next book. I'm going to grow and grow and grow, and hopefully by the third book I'll be doing 100 or 150,000. Something crazy like that would be a dream come true, because that would give me the seed money to keep growing other projects on top of LONESTAR. So LONESTAR. Sorry, that was a really long answer. What else you got? Your boys just dropped a chat to get hits from their channel. Ha ha ha. Yeah, go ahead. Follow my kids on their channel. That's fine. It's Miller Bros, I think. Six Gun Samurai. It's a comic Mike has on Comixology right now. Yeah, go check it out. It's a fun little book. It's about a dude. It's about a kid who was raised in an old West sideshow. Like a traveling circus type of show. And so he and his mom were the trick shooters of the circus. But he was also being trained. He didn't have a father, so he was being trained and sort of mentored by this Ronin samurai who was just there hiding out from his failures in Japan, basically. And so he's like training this kid up in Bushido and in the way of the samurai. Meanwhile, his mom is training him up to be a sharpshooter. But then when she's accidentally mortally wounded, she tells him that his father's actually still alive, and that he should go and find him. And so she gives him his name and his letters and whatnot, and so he and his samurai mentor go on this trek to find his long lost father, and hijinks ensue. So please check it out if you like Western samurai stories. I think you will not be disappointed. I think it's kind of a, I don't know, did you read the whole thing, Sierra Whiskey? I think it's got some guts to it. It's got a good little gut punch there at the end. It may move you, Bob. I laughed. I cried. It moved me, Bob. Alright. Let's see. Action artist. Did we meet on Gary Shipman's live stream? Warrior, I believe we did. How are you? Religious debates on Comic Book Forum. LOL. Yeah, we do that all the time. Are you talking about back in 1997? You, EVS, and Cecil arguing will double your subs. I'd like to have a little, sort of a debate show. Gosh, that's another one of those things I wanted to try to do. I wanted to get... Oh, yeah, my friend James was going to come on. But he's really, mellow. He's a left-winger, but he's, a really mellow cat. So it's we would be able to have really cool intellectual, discussions about why each of us believes, the opposite about practically everything. Except that might not be fun, because we're always, finding common ground, where, all the pundits are always just fighting over peripheral stuff, and then, yeah, but if we both agree on the same basic concept, then can't we just fix the problem that way? I look like Cisco from the Flash TV show. Gee, I've never heard that before. Look, Mike. Oh. LONESTAR is going to be great. Thank you. Because I'm spending all this time drawing trees? Excuse me while I slurp some coffee. Glug a glug. Mike, at SDCC, it looked like you had a classic image of a Jim Lee style rogue. Is that image going to be up on your store? It's not on my store? I thought it was on my store. Where's my phone? Oh, up here. Oh, I'm not going to look for it. If it's not on my store, gosh. I think I have a list of things. I forget to update my store with my new stuff, but that rogue is pretty old, so I kind of assumed it was up there. Just do a search for rogue and tell me if it's not. But yeah, that rogue is one of my best-selling prints. People just love her. She's actually modeled after Marissa Miller, the what was she in? She was a Sports Illustrated model and surfer. She was I thought she had the perfect face for rogue, so he could be a good Cisco Ramon's dad. You know what? I met one of the writers of The Flash, and I suggested that to him. It's if he needs a father. Right here. That's funny. Yes, I come from Star Wars. I come from Star Wars. Sketch comes from a galaxy far, far away. We needed an honest voice. He was angry. He wasn't angry, he was honest. Oh, he was honestly angry. And, that's fine. And that, that's a lot of people are, and they have a lot of followers because of it. I listen to Michael Savage, or I don't recently, but I used to listen to Michael Savage all the time, and it was, just freaking legit angry about stuff. And I understand it's stuff that can make you angry. I just try not to let stuff make me angry. So I'm trying not to indulge in my natural instincts. And Ethan lets his natural instincts bear out to the world. So, I mean, we all have our own ways of doing that. But yes, you can be honestly angry. He wasn't angry, he was honest when everyone lied. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Let Ethan keep his Star Wars. Mike is the Game of Thrones guy. Yeah, but Game of Thrones won't be on until like 2019. I can talk about it. If you guys want to talk Game of Thrones, just ask me some questions. But, I mean, there's stuff in the movies that makes, or the TV show that makes me angry, but it's because I read the books first. But I don't want to do the angry thing. I don't want to indulge in that. I don't want to indulge. Dun, 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 dun. More important things to be concerned with in life. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I were, gosh, you know, and that's the weird thing. It's hard to, I don't know. It seems like everything's going our way nowadays, so it's even hard for me to get angry about politics anymore. I used to be livid. I used to get mad all the time about politics stuff and just just waste endless hours on Facebook arguing with people, and it's like, fairly certain I didn't change anybody's mind, so I don't know. I don't know. Gotta back up the others saying, it's great to see you streaming. Can't wait to get LONESTAR, which in my opinion should be doing better than it is. So get out there and pimp that book. I think it's doing quite well. I got 1,250 subs. I have a very limited advertising budget, so I can't like go dump, thousands of dollars in advertising, which I'm sure would help. But for what I have, I think I'm doing quite well. I mean, the fact that I can sit here and say I'm going to get paid enough on this project to take care of my bills. I mean, granted, we're not at the point where I'd be getting my full page rate. But I think we'll get there. And just the miracle of the fact that I can do that based 100% on you guys. I mean, this is a miracle. This is my first Indiegogo. And, thanks in large part to Ethan, I am where I am. Out. Jojo, go. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad you think I should be better off than I am, but I don't have the infrastructure that Ethan does. So, and Mitch has like twice as many subs as I do, so there's no wonder he's doing twice as well as I am. And he's got, oh my gosh, he's probably got 2 or 3 times as many followers on Instagram. You know what? That's something I've been letting lax. I haven't been pushing this on my Instagram followers. I've got like 5,000 or 6,000 Instagram followers. I could probably push them more over here, but just doesn't seem to have the reach. Not everybody's watching all the time. So, it is what it is, and I think it's quite good for what it is. I mean, honestly, I've got 600 people, or 600 contributions, and 1,200, that's 50% of you guys. are backing me. That is phenomenal. Freaking phenomenal. And I'm so thankful for it. Ethan is good at channeling anger in a humorous and entertaining way. He is. He's really good at it. Yeah. You know, he deserves the 70,000 followers, and I'm sure he's going to be at 100,000 by, like, year's end, maybe? Maybe by year's end he'll be at 100,000, because he's gone from, what, like, 40 to 70 in just, like, 4 months. So 4 months from now, it'll be December. So add another 30 to that. Yeah, man. He's going to be... Ethan's the man in this space. And he's growing so fast. It's like crazy. So as long as he keeps it up. And I'm sure Hollywood will continue to provide him many, many things to be mad about. Because they can't help but do stupid stuff, can they? Oh my... Stars and garters. But yeah. Yeah. Mike's the Injustice game guy. No, I'm the Injustice game comic guy. I didn't do the game. Although I did write a story pitch for it, and I'm trying to get the rights from Warner Brothers so that I can share that. And if I do get those rights, that's going to change things. I very much think that's going to change things. That could be a pivotal moment for me, sharing that story through the right channels, you know. Because that might be able to get me all of my Injustice fans. Or, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. And, boy, that's all I need is a good chunk of those guys, and this channel will blow up. I think. Probably. Who knows? Look how many of these trees I've drawn since you guys have been watching me. Hold on to that chill Hawaiian outlook. It's unique. Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Edwin. Edwin's chill. Edwin's more chill than I am. I don't know if you saw, I was trying to be chill about the whole James Gunn thing last night, but that was upsetting me after a while, after he was reading that letter. I was not happy about that. But yeah. No one said Ethan was angry, but fans are. I'm angry about Star Wars, and I found Ethan and subbed because I finally found someone telling it straight about Star Wars. Yeah, I mean that's the trick, isn't it? Oh, not a trick. It's the medium. I tell people when I'm like, hey, you should start your own YouTube channel. They be like, I don't know what I'd talk about. And I'm like, you know what? Talk about what interests you, because whatever interests you, someone else is going to be interested in it, and then they'll be interested in what you have to say about it. And so that's, Ethan is a big-time Star Wars fan, and so that's his interest, and so he wants to talk about that all the time. Lots of people want to listen to him talk about it all the time. I just tend to talk about random things, I guess. But I don't know. I've heard him pretty livid about stuff. About Star Wars stuff, I don't know. Maybe I don't listen to him as much as you guys. You need an anger-triggered code word. What? I don't know what that means. I broke the stream, but I refreshed it now. Okay, here's hoping Game of Thrones get invaded by SJWs. Michael hit 100,000 subs easily. Hoping it gets invaded by SJWs. I think Game of Thrones is already... Well, I don't know. George writes the story from sort of this medieval take, so you still have, you know, like, senses of chivalry and all that stuff. But, I mean, the basic tenet, the basic milieu of Game of Thrones is that there's no good and bad. There's no, like, you know, everybody has... George himself says he likes to write gray characters, you know, and he's great at it. And it is, you know, it's legit, because, you know, not every good people do bad things and bad people do good things. And that is sort of the whole thing about Game of Thrones. And that is not your classic hero tale, right? I mean, look at who gets it the worst in Game of Thrones are the people who try to maintain a strict moral code. Like, you know, Ned gets whacked in the first freaking book. And then his family is just devastated by also the ones that do hold to that code. Scattered to the winds, murdered, beheaded, betrayed. Yeah. So, and then you know, the ones that are playing the Game of Thrones the best are still alive for some reason. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Star Wars, nice trees. Star Wars is a dumpster fire right now, but unlike Marvel Comics, it may not be too late to save it. I am curious what's going to happen in the next... I mean, who's not? Who isn't curious? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to go see the next Star Wars just to see if they can somehow pull everything together. And, you know, it's entirely possible that they find a way to make everything make sense in a way that actually elevates the previous two stories, because, I mean, really, you're in the middle of a trilogy, right? So, I don't know, I always say, don't criticize someone in the middle of their drawing, right? Well, this drawing's not done yet. It's a trilogy, which means it's not a finished piece. I didn't like Empire when I was a kid. I thought it was the weakest story. But as an adult, watching it as part of the trilogy and being more mature, it's clearly the strongest individual movie out of them. So, you know, I don't know. I think sometimes you want to see things, see it through, and then see what you think after you see everything, after the piece is done, after the art is finished. And then if it's a dumpster fire, you know, whatever. Throw some coal on it, or throw some lighter fluid on it. Bob Ross also had some baby squirrels he was raising. Got any squirrels? No, I just have babies. Hey, Sketch, you gotta stop swearing. I'm not gonna show the swearing. This is a family friendly. Good impression of Bob Ross. Good. How many subs do you need before you can receive super chats? I've got enough subs. I've got enough time. I'm just in review, and I don't know how long that takes. So, yeah. Yo. Bob Ross, when you want to sleep, but just catch one of the shows in calm voice every time. Mike with a perm. Nothing is good since Last Jedi. It even retroactively made Force Awakens worse. That's funny. That's funny. But what if, I don't even know the name of the next episode is. What if the next one makes them all awesome? Huh? What if the next movie comes out and you're like, well, you have to watch all 3 movies together, and then when you do, everything ties together like a neat little bow that just makes everything make perfect sense, and then you're all like, oh my gosh, they're all fantastic now. I know that's probably not going to happen, but it'd be funny. But that's the job. That is the job right now of the director for the 3rd movie, the writer and the director. They have to really have to, pull together something that can make guys like, World Class and Ethan and everybody, actually like it again or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. His redemption was made necessary by the bad writing. I don't know. I liked it. I mean, I liked the redemption part. I thought that Luke Skywalker being... I mean, dude, the whole first part of his life, he was building up to this and trying to rebuild the Jedi, and then it's destroyed, right? By his own failure. I mean, whether you like that happening or not, how is a person supposed to deal with that? How is a person supposed to cope with destroying everything that, not just you, but your father and Obi-Wan, your mentor, and Yoda, that everyone was counting on you to do, and in one moment of weakness, you destroy it all. That kind of thing happens in real life. It only takes one moment to ruin your entire life. One bad decision can destroy everything you've ever wanted or tried to create. Right? I mean, you can't deny that. And so that it happened to Luke, and then he ran away from the consequences of it, and thought himself to be such a monumental failure that he wanted to separate himself from everything and everybody. I mean, it was tantamount to committing suicide, and that happens all the time. I don't know. I thought that was, and then his redemption, I thought it was good. That was good. I'm sure a lot of you people are gonna think I'm nuts for thinking it, because this is why I don't discuss Star Wars when Ethan comes on, because I don't think about it enough to argue it, right? You guys aren't arguing because I'm just sitting here talking to myself. But if somebody was arguing with me about it, I probably would just back down and be like, because I hear your complaints, I hear your arguments, and I can't really argue with them, but there's... Yes?
Please, iPad.
No, I'm using the iPad right now.
Please?
No. You can keep saying please, but I'm going to keep saying no. Here, take my phone. Oh, where's my phone? Oh. Actually, here, take Elijah's phone.
Oh. What? Yeah.
Elijah's phone. So, I don't know. Let's hear what you guys are thinking. I'm going to scroll all the way down to see if you guys all think I'm freaking insane for saying that about Luke. The lure of blue milk from... Okay, I get the blue milk thing. I can't argue the blue milk thing was stupid. I mean, I can't argue it was a good idea. Like I said, I don't think it was a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, and I know there are valid things that were not good about it. But I thought that the Luke redemption story was good. So it is what it is. I think what I think. That is the problem. Luke would be proactive in correcting his mistake. I don't know. And I don't know because I am acquainted with grief and I know what it can do to people. And everybody deals with it differently. And the way Luke dealt with it, you may not have liked it, but you also can't say what he would or wouldn't have done because he had never been in that situation before. So yeah, I don't know. You're faster than some of the other artists. You have to factor that into the yearly take. Huh? What? Should talk about Game of Thrones more. Is somehow bad. Somehow bad to him. You can brown nose all you want upon review. The fact that you are a zero upload channel here to talk garbage about Ethan and bait for divisive comments, you will only be more obvious.
I was on the edge.
Saying Blacklist should talk about
Because I
some
was
spamming weirdo.
No.
German Empire evil fat Japanese spurging out, just ignore.
What?
That is the problem. Liquid Lure Blue Milk. How are you, Grant? Spilled coffee while inking a page. Oh my gosh, you want to hear the worst spilling of coffee story like ever? I was at was it Anaheim? What show was that? I think it was Kamikaze, like before Kamikaze got bigger. So I was at this show, and I had like a stack of like my, splash pages and whatnot on the table. And this guy's just looking at my stuff. They weren't in plastic sleeves or anything. It was just the raw pages. And this dude flipping spills his full cup of coffee on the top of my like double page splash and like all these other pages, and he just stands there in shock and awe of like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, dude, go get some paper towels like now. And he was like, super apologetic and like freaking out. However, did not offer to pay for any of the pages because they were like $700 pages and stuff. But this was back when I still sold my art. But I discovered that if you spill coffee on your pages, a light spritz of like Tilex or something with bleach in it takes the coffee stain right out. And so far as I can tell, hasn't damaged the pages. So that was a good lesson to learn for anyone who's ever actually spilled coffee on their work. Okay, so now I just need to ink the gutters. I just need to ink the gutters, and I'll be done with this page. Alright, let's see. Grant Hall, what would you say is a reasonable page rate for a penciler, inker of different experience levels? Oh, dude, that's a wide range. I mean, for penciling, I don't know. It's really like for a professional. I would never offer a professional like someone who's been in this business for a while, less than, you know, $150, $200 a page. If they're a veteran, you know, they've been at it as long as me, then, you know, more. Some guys get like $1,000 a page, but I'm pretty sure you're not looking for that. But you know, some of the younger guys looking to break in, you can get them for, you know, whatever, $40-$50 a page. I started at $40 a page working for Malibu, so. But then again, that was 25 years ago. And sadly, the page rates for comics have not gone up much in the interim. Yeah, Sketch, saying that Luke wouldn't give up, I mean, I understand that argument, but I mean, it's like saying you know what do you know what you would do if you had spent your whole life working towards a goal and then you made one mistake and destroyed it all in one fell swoop, and then on top of that it loses you, your family, and all of your friends who you've had since you were a teenager. I mean, do you know what you would do? Does anyone know what they would do in that situation? And so saying that Luke wouldn't have done it, I don't know, I think that's assuming too much of the character. Personally. I mean, you can believe whatever you want. You can think whatever you want. And I can understand how thinking that way would just absolutely ruin the whole movie for somebody. Nighthawk Warrior agrees with me. Someone agrees with me. Alright, so we'll chalk that up to one person agrees with me, everyone else thinks I'm nuts. Alright, that's fine. I have a friend of mine who is a devoted Star Wars fan who also can't... You bring up this topic and he will just hate on it for about 2 hours. He'll hate on it for longer than the movie was, so... It's funny. Maybe he should start a channel. J.J. Abrams is back, fixing and making Star Wars 9 fan service. Yeah, Star Wars 9 was too much fan service. Or Star Wars 7 was too much fan service. Star Wars 8 was not enough fan service. It's almost as if you can never please the fans. Maybe we should just do our own fan fiction and write the characters the way we would want to write them. Or we could do what George Lucas did and take a classic film with its classic characters and transport them all into a space environment and then name it something completely different. Yeah, what was the name of the story George Lucas stole Star Wars from? I can't remember. Look that up for me. Although somebody in the audience will probably know.
Look what up? What?
Even the actor, I know he said it was uncharacteristic of Luke, but you know what? I mean, why didn't he write it? Or, if he felt that way strongly enough, why didn't he say he wasn't going to do it? Money talks, I guess. The Hidden Fortress? Hidden Fortress. Right. I mean, that's why, you know, it's the same thing with, what's his face? Quentin Tarantino. That's why his best movie was Reservoir Dogs, because he pretty much stole the whole plot from City on Fire. Hey, Nasser, I'm doing well. Did you just get here? Because you missed it again. I just finished the page, so... Sergio Leone. So anyways, there's my page, guys. What do you think? Page 21. Lone Star, Heart of the Hero.
So does use black and white?
I will get around to page 22 shortly. I don't know if I'm going to live stream inking it, but yeah, let's go through a couple of these.
Sign in on Google.
Here, we can see here. Blacklist Universe, I can agree. What did you say? I can agree with those points that you made, Luke. However, the main point, the main mistake, is that he would kill his nephew who has not turned to the dark side. And...
How do you go on Google? Sign in on Google.
Sign in on Google? Why are you asking me? This phone's almost dead, too. This needs to be charged.
But how?
I don't know. That's a very fair point. Yeah, I can't argue that. So that was, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. That's like if I get an argument with Ethan about this, if I started talking about it with Ethan, he'd probably change my mind. But then I would hate the movie, and I don't want to hate the movie. But it's a case of like. When you watch a movie and you liked it, and so you don't think about it, because if you think about it too much, you're gonna not like it. And I don't know, I kind of want to like it, so yeah. Maybe I'm being a little obtuse, and on purpose.
Sign in.
Then it had killed Micah. No, that phone's almost dead.
Yeah.
Use that one.
Does yours have PUBG?
PUBG?
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't have PUBG on it.
Exactly.
Mommy's son has it.
Okay, well, in a minute, okay? Go away.
How long is a minute? 5 hours?
Yeah, 5 hours in 5 minutes. Ben had killed no one, and Luke is just going to pull a lightsaber on his own nephew. No way. Fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah. Just talking about without cursing each other and excessive spamming. Yeah, no swearing on my channel, please, guys. My kids read this stuff. My screen is tripping me out. Let's see. 60 seconds video. Inside the video is eternal looping, and it's a 14-second delay. Let me try and twist it. Here. Oh. Let's get a proper inception. The inception loop. Ooh, there we go. Screenception. PUBG is the new Minecraft, huh? But Luke is a fighter pilot. Test. What? In the event with Ben led to his self-exile. With all he sacrificed for the ones he loved, makes the plot of exile built on a weak foundation. The event with Ben. Oh. No, I think it's a good argument that the catalyst was. That is kind of tripping me out too. It's like inside. It's like, I think it's a good argument that the catalyst was out of character enough that you could say that was poorly written. But I don't know, does that take away from everything else in the movie? You know? Your boy is as snappy, witty as you. Yeah, Micah he's a mini-me. Video, inside the video, yeah, I just realized. Recolored copy of Cap 1 for reference for color. Oh. Hey, yeah, Pixel Trader, if you can send me that, that piece, like, layered, I'd kind of like to mess around with the colors on his costume myself. Just to see what I can come up with. Yeah, Luke going to kill Ben over Bad Dream was out of character for me, considering the lengths he went to save Vader. But it wasn't a dream, was it? It was a vision of Luke's future. And that's, you know, that is a thing that Luke did in Empire, right? He could see the future and the pain and the death if he didn't do something to stop it. And he saw Ben turning into what Ben turned into, but in this case, rather than saving his friends, he ended up causing it. It's like that weird, you know, it's like time travel stories. Do you cause the problem you go back to fix? Start another one. We want to keep watching. You want to keep watching. I could start another one. If I start another one, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it later. I am gonna ink another page today. Luke sacrificed himself to save his friends from Vader. Turned himself over a second time to save Vader. Luke would have put it all on the line to save his nephew, not consider killing him. Maybe. Remember PSD, we've got a few extra layers. I thought the whole thing was about unbalancing the Force by founding the Jedi and him being the most powerful. That made Ben a Sith, so he ran it and cut himself out from the damn part. I'm getting strange vertigo, motion sickness. Screen search. Mike, when can you receive super chats? I don't know. Ask YouTube. Ask the YouTubes. Let's see. 14, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Man, it's longer than a 14-second lag. Mike, you are making me question my existence. Are you going to do reviews, commentary on some of your comics? I always like watching that stuff. I don't know. Some of my comics. Probably not. Alright, I'm gonna... Can you use your phone? For now. Alright, guys, I'm gonna back out. I may be back on later if you guys want to just continue watching me ink all day long. Don't you have anything better to do? Alright. We will chat at you later, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. If you haven't already, please sign up for the, down here. Let's see. Follow me on Twitter, @AbacusMike. Sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update on Lone Star. Here. And if you want to support me, you can grab some art at my store, myshopify.com. Spent a lot of time today packing stuff up, so whee! That's fine that you like The Last Jedi, and I'm happy that you do. I enjoy a good story premise, but not at the expense of breaking character premise, i.e. Captain America being a hydrated. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. I understand your argument, so I don't want to try to convince anybody out of their position, so. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Go support Lone Star. Go tell somebody else to do it too. Love you guys. Peace.
That was the best.